everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge of Friends. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज हम लोग जो डिस्कस करने वाले हैं वो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की क्लास डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, जो कि क्लास नंबर 8 है। ऑलरेडी हमने 7 क्लासेस कर लिया है, जिसमें हमने यूनिट 1 कंप्लीट कर लिया है, दैट इज़ इंट्रोडक्शन टू आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। द सेकेंड यूनिट वी हैड डन, that is your introduction to such, and the third unit we will complete in today's class hopefully, and that is unit 3rd, that is knowledge, representations and reasoning, where we had completed 75% of this unit in the last class only. But now today we'll go ahead with those questions that we don't had done in the last classes, and that is if I'm talking about the knowledge representation, that is the study of the waves of picturizations of knowledge and how actively it resembles the representation of knowledge in the human brain, where the technique of the knowledge representations we had discussed about the logic, scripts, frames, semantics, and that is the nets, inferences system, that is a partitioned nets, and as well as the case grammar as well, that we had discussed. First of all, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. So here that will go ahead with the details. Some of the things we had discussed about it, like logic means that drawing conclusion on the basic condition. It is of 3 types, which is binary, boolean, and that is ordinary. And in the propositional logic, all the statements are made by the propositional first order logic, uses by the additional notions, and these were the quantifiers, predicates and term as well. And in the same reference towards it, if I'm going ahead with this, that is in the terms of it, that what we had even though discussed about it, and that is in the partition semantics. Frame is like we can say that a semantic network is the oldest and the flexible method of the representation knowledge, and it is a graphical in nature as well, where a frame is like an outline with a category and a subcategory, and frame represent the knowledge about the object, event, location, or the other element as well. And a partition semantic network is a semantic network which can be divided into one or more networks for the description of an individual network as well. We are talking about the forward chaining here, that is the forward chaining starts with the available data and the user's inferences rule to extract more data until an optimal goal is reached here. And for that, the backward chaining we had done about it, like backward chaining starts with the list of the goals and works backward to see if there is a data available, then that is what support in any of these goals as well. So let's go ahead with the detail, and as well as that, as I told you about, like briefly describe the meaning of the knowledge representation and knowledge acquisition, and what procedures will follow for the knowledge acquisition. Explain that has been asked of 10 marks as well, as I told you before as well, and even though we had discussed many more things related to that as well. So far I just let you gone through with that, and then we'll go ahead with the detail that what we had not discussed in the last classes. So here for that, the knowledge representation, it is the study of the ways of picturization of knowledge and how effectively it resembles the representation of knowledge in human brain, and where it should possess the following characteristic, where the representation scheme that should have a set of well-defined syntax and semantics, and it should have a good expressive that is capacity, as well as it must be effective as well. In the same case, for that it should have a good expressive capacity, it must be effective as well. And the need of the knowledge representation, if I'm talking about that, for solving a complex problem as I need large of the knowledge as well, and then some mechanism for manipulating that knowledge to create a solution to a new position problems as well. And only the one way to manipulate that knowledge is knowledge representation. We are talking about the knowledge here. Knowledge representation has a 2 entities, and that is your facts and representation that I had told you about. And the facts are the truth in some relevant world, and the representative is the representations of the fact in some chosen formalities and formalism that the represent should be very easy and interesting, and it has a function that map from facts to representation and from representation to fact. That has been done. Even though we had done about the Charlie is a dog, so for that representation of the fact mathematical, that as I told you about dog, and in the bracket that is just Charlie has been represented here. With the same case, if I'm talking about the knowledge acquisition here, in the knowledge acquisition, it is the process of acquiring the knowledge from a human expert for an expert system, and which must be carefully organized into the if-then rules or some other form of knowledge representation, where knowledge acquisition is the process of absorbing and storing the new information in memory, and the success of which is determined by how well the information that can later be retrieved from the memory as well, where the process of storing and retrieving the information depends heavily on the representation and the organization of the information as well. Same here. With the same case, the initial knowledge have the construction like procedures for the knowledge acquisition if I'm talking about. So there are the two procedures. The first is the initial knowledge based construction, and the second is the refinement of the knowledge base. The for the initial knowledge have that constructions. Yeah, for that mole asks the expert to list common symptoms and complaint that might require the diagnosis as well, and for each that symptoms, that mole prompts for a list of the possible explanation, and mole then literally seeks but the high level explanation until it comes up with the set of the ultimate cause as well. During this process, the mole builds in the influence network that is similar to the belief network as well. And for the refinement of the knowledge base, where we talk about, that is mole now tries to identify the weakness of the knowledge base, and one approach is to find the holes in the prompt that the expert to fill them as well. And same, it is difficult to know whether the knowledge base is complete, so instead a mole lets the expert to fill them as well, and it is difficult to know whether a knowledge base is complete, so that instead the mole lets the expert watch a mole p that is solving the some sample problem as well. And whenever the mole p makes an incorrect diagnosis, the experts add a new knowledge as well, and there are the various several ways in which the mole p that can reach the wrong conclusion as well. In the same case, if I'm going ahead, that I told you about what are the desirable properties and the approaches of the knowledge representation scheme, which we had discussed. There are the four that properties. A good system has a representation of knowledge in a particular domain that should possess the following four properties, that is the representational adequacy, that is the ability to represent the all kinds of knowledge and that are needed in the framed domain as well. The second is the inferential adequacy, that the ability to manipulate that the representational structure in such a way as to derive the new structures corresponding to the new knowledge inferred from the old here. And the third is that inferential efficiency, that is ability to incorporate into the knowledge structure that is additional information that can be used to focus the attention of inferences mechanism in most promising direction as well. And the fourth we have is that the acquisitional efficiency, and fear that the ability that acquire new information easily, and the simplest case involves the direct insertions by a person of new knowledge into a database, and ideally the program itself would be able to control the knowledge acquisition as well. In the same regard, now talking about the approaches to knowledge representation, so there are many approaches. So for the first approach we have your simple relational knowledge, and where the simplest way of storing fact is to use the relational method, where each fact about a set of problems is set out systematically in a columns, and this representation gives a little opportunity for the inferences, but it can be used as a knowledge basis for the inferences engine as well. In the same case, that what we are talking about, the second one, that is your inheritable knowledge, and where the relational knowledge is made up of object consisting of attributes and corresponding associated values as well, and we extend the base more allowing inferences mechanism, and that the property inheritance, that is the element inheritance value from being members of a class, and the second is that is your boxed nodes, that is the objects and the values of the attributes of object as well, and the values that can be object and attribute and so on, so that the arrows as well that from point from object to its values as well. The third we have is your inferential knowledge, that is to represent the knowledge as the formal logic that can use to derive more facts and truth of the new statement that can be verified, where the guaranteed correctness as well. Many inferences procedure available in implement standard rules of logic were popular in AI system as well. The fourth is the procedural knowledge, where the knowledge encoded in some procedures, small programs that knows how to do the specific things and how to process as well. Let's go ahead to discuss about the logic, that what we had discussed about it, and explain its types also. So for the logic here, that starting with the logic here, that we had not done in the last class, I hope. Logic, in the terms of the logic here, that is, logic means that drawing conclusion on the basis of the condition, and logic can be defined as a scientific study of the process, reasoning, and of a stream system, that of rules, that is procedure that help the resonance process as well, and where the logic process takes input as some information that called premises, and that produces some output that is called conclusion. So let's go ahead for that. We'll draw a diagram for the logic here. This is a logic system. Here we have so here in that is the representation, where it is your the input, that is premises, and that is facts, and for here that is your output, inference, conclusion. This is a logic that can be classified into two categories, that is your prepositional logic and a predicate logic, and there are the two types of logic we'll have to discuss. That is, we have two types. The first is your propositional logic, and second is your predicate. In the propositional logic here, that the simplest form of the logic, where all the statement made are propositional, and propositional logic takes only two values, either the propositional is true or is it false. And for example, like it is raining, it is sunny, diamond is a hard material. So there are the two kinds of propositional as well. There are the two types, that is, the first we have is your atomic, and the second is your the first is your atomic propositional, that is a simple proposition, and the second is your that is molecular proposition, and that is known as a complex or compound propositional. And the compound propositional, that symbols used for the logic connectives are like for the negation, conjunctions and disjunctions, or amplification, double or punctuation, that has been used here. And for the first order predicate logic, that is your FOPL, that is first order predicate logic, where the predicates are that a predicate is defined as a relation that binds two atoms together. For example, Ravi likes an airplane is represented as Ravi airplane, and here likes predicate that links to the two atoms atomically, that is your Ravi and aeroplane. So this predicate can be generated as like x comma y, or where x comma y are the variables, that is meaning x likes y. So it is also possible to have a function as an argument. For example, the Ravi's father is the Rani's father. So father, that is the father Ravi and comma Rani. So father is a predicate, and a father Ravi is a function that is indicated by the Ravi's father. The second is your quantifiers, and that is we have to discuss about it, and that is your quantifier. So in the terms of the quantifiers here, that the quantifier is a symbol that permits one to declare and identify the range of the scope of the variables in the logic expression, and where there are the two logic quantifiers, that is your universal quantifier and extensional quantifiers here. So let's go ahead with that. FOPL. So that has been divided. The first we have, that is your predicate. The second is your quantifiers. The quantifiers has been divided into two. That is, the first is your universal quantifier, and that has been represented like this, and the second is your extensional quantifier, that has been represented by this, and the third we have is your that is terms. And here the terms are the argument in a predicate, and father, like father, Ravi and Ram. So there can be defined as follows, and that is the father is also a term, and where the constant is a term here. And in the same regard of it, that the variable is a term. So if f is a function and x1, x2, x3, x till xn are the terms, so then we can represent it like this: x2, x3 and dot 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 xn. So this is a term function that has been representing here. Let's go ahead with this, and that what we had done, even though explain the conversion procedure of the given formula into the normal form, which we had done, and convert the formula A tends to B, B and C and D, and that is into DNF, that we have discussed about in the last class, so I will not discuss here. You can go through with that. And the another question we had done in the last class is to convert A tends to B tends to C into CNF. That also we had done in the last class. You can go through with that. Now we'll discuss about the explain inferences rule in a brief with an example, even though that we had discussed, but some of the things we had not discussed, so we'll go ahead here. That is inference rule. In inferences rule, that in the brief, that to prove something we need to apply some manipulation procedures on the given statement to deduce new statements, and if we are totally sure that the given statements are true, then the newly derived statements are also true. And a manipulation procedure that have helps to deduce the new statement are called rule of inferences, and some of the important rules of the inferences are as to be follows. Like if we were going for the propositional logic, then we have an addition and with simplification, modus ponens, modus tollens, deductive syllogism, hypothetical syllogism, a constructive dilemma, destructive dilemma, and negation, that we had done in the last class. And for that, rules of inferences for the predicate logic, that is we had done about universal installation, that is represented a universal generalization, extensional instantiation, and of course the extensional generalization, that we had discussed detailed in the last class here. And we had done one question here in the last class, that is the prove the following sentences is valid or not, that if the price falls and the sales increases, and if the sales increases then John's makes the whole money, but John does not make the whole money, so therefore the price do not fall. That has been asked of 10 marks, even though we had done that, and that we had done in a deep as well, and so you can go through with the last class and you will find it out the answer as well. And where we will have to discuss we had done the consider the argument all dogs bark, some animals are dog, and there are some animals are bark, so that we had done. And determine whether the conclusion is a valid consequences of the premises, that also been has asked of 10 marks, and we had done in the last class. You can go through with that. The another question also we had done, that is you translate the following sentences into the formula in the predicate logic in the class form, that is John's like all kinds of food, apples are food, chicken is a food, anything anyone eats and is not killed by a food is a food, and Bill Gates Bill eats peanuts and is still alive, and Sui eats everything Bill eats. So that has also been asked of 10 marks. With the predicate logic and a clause form we have to find it out, so that is also we had done, and that has also been asked of 10 marks, and which is very important. You can go through with the last class. I will had done that here only. The next question that we had done is that is determine the whether following argument is valid. If that I work a whole night on this problem, then I can solve it, and if I solve the problem, then I will understand the topic. Therefore I will work whole night on this problem, then I will understand the topic. ये वाला क्वेश्चन तो दो से ज़्यादा बार पूछा गया 10 marks में. You can go through with that. Last class I had done it at deep as well. Now we'll go ahead with another new question that has been asked of 10 marks as well. That the question we have here, prove the following statements are inconsistent. So the first we have John loves Mary and Reddy is not happy, but her parents are happy. The second we have, if John marries Mary, then William and her friend Reddy will be happy. The third is John will marry Mary if Mary loves John. This has been asked of 10 marks, and which is very important as well in reference towards the competition wise. So here for the same case, we'll go ahead with this in FOPL, that what we have to discuss here. So the solution for that in FOPL. So FOPL में जब हम इसको लिखते हैं तो what we will do is we will find it out, and for here that is in the terms of it, and let's go ahead to do this as well. And for FOPL, that has been represented here, that is loves John Mary, then happy Reddy, happy parents. So this is for the first one we are doing. And for the clause form, if I'm talking about here, in the clause form that we are dealing with, for this we have loves, that is your John Mary, that is happy Reddy, happy parents. And by reduce the scope of this, and we can say that when we convert the sentence from FOPL to clause form by reducing the scope of this, and that is to a single term using the fact that we know that minus this, we will go ahead with the positive. And so here we can see that the contradiction between the previous and the new statement, and that is the statement is inconsistent here. So in the same case, if I'm going to discuss about it in a detail, let's go ahead with the second statement, that what we have here, and that is for that in FOPL. In the FOPL here, that we have to discuss, and that is for happy William Reddy, that is marries John Mary. And for the clause form, with the second form, that what we have to discuss here, that is your in the same case, that is the second one is your, that is your clause form. In the clause form, that is your happy William, and that is your Reddy, that is in the same case, that marries John Mary. And for that, this the arrows that we estimated here, and that is when we convert the sentences into clause form, they're eliminating and using the fact that it tends to be in the equivalent to the that we had represented here, and that is here the statement in the sentence that shows the contradictions, and this sentence is inconsistent as well. And where we can say that for the third one, and that is for we have for the third one in FOPL, that will represent it, and then will represent the clause of form as well. And for the clause form and the FOPL we have to discuss. For the FOPL, that is your Mary, John, Mary, that tends to loves, Mary, John. So here that it is. And for the clause form we have here is your that is your Mary, John, Mary, that loves, Mary, John. For using this arrow here, that is in the sentences, the first statement of the sentences that shows the contradiction, so the sentence is inconsistent here. And now we'll discuss about explain the semantics nets with an example, and explain the properties of the semantics as well. So we will discussed about it, and that we had gone through with the detail as well. So a semantic network is a graphical representations of knowledge, and it is a pattern of interconnected nodes and arcs, and the objects are under the consideration that serves as node, as the relationship with the another node is given that arc as well. And the nodes in the semantic knot represent the entities, attributes, and state the events which arc gives the relationship between the nodes, and that labels to the arc specifies and what type of a relationship actually exists. And the semantic nets are used to find the relationship among objects by spreading out activation from each of the two nodes and seeing where the activation net here. And this process is called intersection search, and this is no standard set of the relations for the semantic network, but the following relations are very common, that is instance that we are using, and for has part as well. And for example, for the mammal, that will go ahead to lead with a semantic network here. Semantic nets, that is your semantic network, will represent it here. This is mammal, then person, and of course Sachin here. And that is your, this has been led to it. So this is a semantic network. So in the terms of it, we can say that a semantic network. So which we have here is your, this is your Sachin, and that is your instance. This is person, that is a that has mammals and has part, that is head, and which Sachin has a team, that is cricket, and uniform, color, that is either black or blue. So this is a semantic network that has been represented here. So here with the same concept, we'll go ahead with the deep as well, and where the properties of semantic network we have to discuss here. So the properties of semantic network. The properties of semantic network we have, where the first we have is your inheritance. That is in inheritance here, that it is the key concept in semantic network, and that can be represented naturally by following ISA links. And in general, if concept X has a property P, then all the concepts that are summits of X, that should also have a property P. And multiple inheritance, then we have your multiple inheritance. In multiple inheritance, it allows an object to inherit properties from multiple concepts. Multiple inheritance can sometimes allow an object to inherit conflicting properties as well. And with the same case, the third we have here is your inverse link. In inverse link, that the semantic networks that allows a common form of inferences, that is known as inference link here. As those who had visited my last video, so they had gone through with it, that we had discussed these in a detail, with having a description, it is having even though the diagram as well, and that you can go ahead if you had not visited as well. Let's go ahead with another one, that what we have to discuss related to the frames. And related to the frames here, that is a frame that we have to discuss about it, and which we had even though discussed about in the last class in the detail as well, but we'll go ahead here as well. So a frame is a collection of attribute, usually called slots, and associated values, and possibly the constants and on values, and that describes some entities in the world as well. And with this, that we can say that the frames allows a deep understanding of a new situations about which only the minimal information is directly available, and they represent our understanding of regularities in the universe, and that allows the intelligent action based on the minimal clues as well. With the same concept, same here with that they are represented our understanding of regularities in the universe, and that allows the intelligent action based on the minimal clues. And the features of frame will discuss again. In the terms of features of frame, that the value of the slot, that default a value in the case no value is present, and the procedures to be run when a value is put into a slot or removed, and they can be used to implement the demands, and the data type information, that is the constants and the possible slots filter as well. And we are in the same case talking about the features of frame, many more things that we have to discuss related to the frame, and that is your data, that is your documentations. In the terms of the documentations, then we'll go ahead with this, and that is your the documentation, that is that frames can inherit. With the same case, talking about the features, that the documentation we talk about, that the frame that can inherit a lot slots from the parents frame, and for example that the Fido, an individual dog, and might inherit properties from the dog and its parent class, or the mammals a parent class dog as well. So that his, and in the case of the, if I'm talking about the examples of it, so the birds that covering the feathers, look that their locomotions is fly. So we can talk about the ostrich, that's the subclass of birds, and the locomotives bugs as well. And the tiger, the subclass of animals, and that is the whale, the subclass of mammals. Tweety, instance of bird, and where the Fred here, that is your that is the instance of ostrich, and Hobbs, that is instance of tiger, and Moby, that is instance of whale. So now we'll discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of frames. And disadvantages of frames. So in the advantages and disadvantages of frame talking about here, and with the same concept that we'll have to discuss first one by one. The advantages here, that a frame collects the information about an object in a single place in an organized fashion, and the logic which represents the information about an object by many small predicates and that scattered throughout the database as well. By relating the slots to the other kinds of the frames, that is your frames in a frame that can be represented here, and that is that is your the single places in an organized fashion, which is your object, and by many small predicates that scattered throughout the database as well. And by relating the slots of the other things, that the kinds of the frame that we have, and that frame that can be even though that can represent the typical structures involving an object, and these are very important for the reasoning based on the limited information as well. And where the frames are provided with the same, the third advantage is the frames provides a way of associating the knowledge with the objects via the slots procedure, and frames may be relatively efficient way of implementing the AI application, that is the direct procedure innovations versus search in a logic system as well. And the frames allows data that are stored and computed to be treated in a uniform manner. For example, the age here, and that is might be stored or might be completed from birthday here, and that is computed from birthday as well. And that is your with regard of it, if I'm talking about that the disadvantages of the frame here, in the terms of it, disadvantages of frame, the first is the slot filters may be real data. For example, it is possible to say that Ram is a bachelor or a buck, that is baker, and since there is no way to deal with the disjunctions in slot filter as well, and with it is possible to quantify over the slots. For example, there is no way to represent some students made 100 in exam, and it is necessary to repeat the same information to make it unable from the different viewpoints, since the methods are associated with the slots to the particular here and with that object type. And that is, for example, it may be easy to answer whom does John love, and but hard to answer and who loves Mary as well. Where that same case, if I'm talking about with regard of it, the applications of frame we will discuss here. In the terms of application, if I'm talking about here, in the terms of application, where that there are three applications, that the frames are good for the application in which the structure of the data and the available information are relatively fixed, and the second application, that the procedure method associated with the slot provide a good way to associate knowledge with a class of objects, and the third is that the frames are not particularly good for the application in which the deep deductions are made from a few principles as well. In the same regard of it, we'll go ahead with another one, that is your Minsky frame system theory, which is new and that we had not discussed in the last class. So let's go ahead with that, and that is your Minsky frame system theory. In a Minsky frame system theory, that what we have to discuss here, where the Minsky proposed the frame as a means of representing the common sense knowledge as well, and he proposed that the knowledge is organized into the small packets that is called frames, and where we'll go ahead that the contents of the frames are certain slots with having other values as well, and all frames of with that all frames of a given situation constitute the systems, and wherever one encounters a situation, a series of frames are activated and reasoning is done as well. And a frame is defined as a data structure that has the slots for the various objects and the collections of frames that consist of the expectations for a given situation, and where a frame structure provides the facilities for describing the objects, facts about a situation, and procedures on what to do and when a situation is encountered as well. Now talking about the frames that are used to represent, that is of two types, and the first we have, that is your declarative and that is your factual factual or your situational, that frame. The second is that is your procedural frame. So in that that is declarative here, that is in the declarative, we can say that in the declarative form, that the declarative frame, a frame that merely contains the descriptions about the object, is called declarative frame. And for that the second one, that is a procedural frame here, that is a frame which has a procedural knowledge embedded in it, and are called procedural frames. And the actions frame has the following slots, like that is the first slot is an extra slot, that is it holds the information about who is performing the activity. The second is your object slot, that this frame has the information about the item to be operated on. The third is the source slot, that is it holds the information from where the action has to be begin. And the fourth is your destination slot, that is it holds the information about the place where the action has to end here. In the same case, if I'm going ahead of the detail, and that what we have to discuss here, and that is your task slot, and where that generate the necessary subframes that is required to perform the operation as well, like hotel room, hotel chair, hotel bed, hotel mattress, hotel phone, that has been comes under the content here, and with the same regard of it. Now we will discuss about the inferences in the first order logic, where the infer means to derive as a conclusion from the fact or the premises, and there are the two common rules for deriving the new facts from the rules and the known fact, and these were the modus ponens and modus tollens as well. Whereas talking about the another one that we have here, the same case, that these are modern ponens and the modus tollens as well. With the modern ponens, it is the most common inferences strategies, that is just as simple as reasoning based on in easily understood, and the rule where that a tends to be and tends to be as well, that says that A is known to be true, and if rules A state that if A and B, then is valid to conclude the B is true as well. So for that, that is, if Rita car is dirty, then the Rita has been driving outside Delhi. So here the inferences engine should be able to handle incomplete information, and the degree of the certainty is represented as the number of action attached to the fact, that is your certainty factor as well. And the two inferencing method that are forward and backward chaining as well. If I'm talking about the forward and a backward chaining, that we had discussed this is in the detail as well in the last class. Forward and backward chaining. In a forward and a backward chaining, if I'm talking about, so the forward chaining is one of the two main method of reasoning when using inferences rule in the artificial intelligence, where the forward chaining starts with the available data and uses the inferences rules to extract more data from an end user, and until an optimal goal is reached, and where an inferences engine using a forward chaining searches and the inferences rule until it finds one, and where the if a clause is known to be true as well. So here an inferences engine using a forward chaining searches that the inferences rules until it's find out one where if clause is known to be true, and when found it can conclude or infer that the then clause, and resulting in the additions of the new information to its data set. Inferences engine will be often cycle through this process until an optimal goal is reached. And for example, suppose that the goal is to be conclude the color of my pet Bruno give he croaks and eats flies, and that the rule base contain the following two rules, that we are in the same case, that if x croaks and eat flies, then x is a frog, and if x is in the forward and a backward chaining, that forward chaining is one of the two main method of reasoning when using inferences rule in the artificial intelligence. And forward chaining starts with the available data and uses inferences rule to extract more data that from an end user that until and optimal goal is reached. An inferences engine that using a forward chaining searches the inferences rule until it find out one where if clause is known to be true, and when found it can conclude or infer the then clause and resulting the additions of new information to its data set as well. Where in the same case, so here as an inferences that engines using the forward chaining such as the inferences rule until it find out one where if the class is known to be true, and when we found it can conclude or infer then class resulting in the additions of new information to its data set. Inferences engine will often cycle through this process until as optimal goal is reached. For example, suppose that the goal is to be conclude the color of my pet Bruno, then given that he croaks and eats flies, and that the rules base contains the following two rules, that is if croaks and eats flies then X is a frog, and if X is a frog then X is red. So the given rule is that X croaks and eat flies would first be added to a knowledge base as a rule base is searched and the consequent that matches its antecedents. This is true of the first rule, so the conclusion that X is a frog is also added to a knowledge base, and the rule base is again searched as well. In the same case, that the time the second rule antecedents matches one consequence, so we add to our knowledge base the new conclusion that is red, and that X is red, and nothing more that can be inferred from this information, but we have now accomplished our goal of determining the color of X. The bottom-up approach of forward chaining is commonly used in the expert systems such as CLIPS, and one of the advantages of the forward chaining over backward chaining is that the reception of new data that can trigger new inferences which make the engine better suited for the dynamic situation in which the condition is likely to be changed. Talking about the backward chaining here, that is the backward chaining start with a list of goals or the hypothesis and works that backwards to see if there is data available that will support any of these goals as well. Where in the same case, an inferences engine that use the backward chaining would search the inferences rule until it find it out one which has then clause and that matches to the desired goal as well. And if the clause of that inferences rule is not known to be true, then it is added to the list of the goals. In order for your goal to be confirmed, you must also provide the data that confirms the new rule as well. For example, suppose that the goal is to be conclude that the color of my pet Bruno, given that he croaks and eats flies, and that the rule base contain the following two rules, that if X croaks and eats flies, then X is a frog, and if X is a frog, then X is red here. So these rules would be searched and the second rule would be selected because its conclusion the then clause that matches to the goal that the X is red here. It is not yet known that X is a frog, so that if the statement is added to the goal list in order to the X to be red, and he must be a frog as well. Where the rule base is again searched, and this time that the first rule is with the same case that the rule base is again searched, and that the time of the first rule is selected as I told you, because its then class matches to the new goal that was just to edit a list whether X is a frog. And if a clause that is X frogs and 8 flies is known to be true, and therefore the goal X is a frog, that can conclude it X croaks and 8 flies, and that must be red, so X is red, so must that be a frog as well, because the list of the goals determines which rules are selected and used. So this method is called the goal driven, and in contrast to the data driven forward chaining inferences here. In the same case, talking about resolution, that what we have to discuss here. In the term of the resolution, that resolution is a proof procedure that carries out a single operation, that the variety of the process involved increasing the statement is a predicate knowledge as well, and that is with that resolution that operates on the statement that has not been converted into the very convenient form as well. And with the same case, we can say that that the resolution procedure is proved by the repetition. In other words, to prove the statement, that means to show that it is valid. And in order to prove that statement, resolution attempts to show that the negations of the statement produces a contradiction with the known fact that it is unsatisfiable here. And the basis of the resolutions we have here, that is a simple iterative process. In each step, at each two clauses that are parent clauses and are that compared and attempt to a new clauses that have been inferred from them, and the new clauses represent the way of the two parent clauses interact with each other. The literal must occur in a positive form in one clause and a negative form in the other clause, and the resolution is obtained by combining all the literals of the two parent clauses with except that one that cancel each other. And if the clause that is produced is empty clause, then the contradiction has been found as well. Talking about the resolution of propositional that is propositional logic here, in that the aim of the propositional logic is to combine the capacity of the probability and that probability theory, and which is to handle the uncertainty with the capability deductive logic to exploit structure as well. And with the same case, that in the resolution of the propositional logic, the procedure of the producing to prove by the resolution of the propositional that is your S with respect to the set of axioms, that is F is given like that too, you have to convert all the propositions of F to clause form and then negate S as convert to the result of the clause form to the set of the clauses that is obtained. And then other than that, what we have to do is in the same case that repeat either of the contradiction is found or no progress that can be made. For that we have to select two clauses and that call these parent clauses and resolve them together, the resulting clauses that can resolve with the disjunctions of all the literals of both the parent clauses, with the following exceptions. If there are any that is a pairs of literals L and minus L, so each of that of the parent clauses that contain L and minus L, for that such pair to eliminate that L. And your resolution in the predicate logic, that to convert all the statement F to be the clause form, and then after that we have to negate S and to convert the result to the clause form and add it to the set of clauses that is obtained in it. And then after that we will have to do the same procedure for a predicate logic as well, what we had done for the propositional logic here. And where it is taken as L and there it is taken as T here. Now we're talking about explain the horn clause. Explain horn clause. What are the procedure of the clauses conversion? In the horn clause here, that a horn clause is a disjunctives of literals of which at most of the positive interferences with the horn clauses that can be done through the forward chaining and a backward chaining algorithm, where a horn clause in a sentences that can be formed as written as in the form of P2x, then P of nx here, that gets Q of x. So that where there are 0 or more p1s and pi's and the q are positive literals, so horn clause represent the subset of the set of the sentences that is represented in FOL. And for example, that is PA with the sentences of FOL, but it is in the horn clause as well. So procedure of the clausal conversion we have here, that is that every FOL statement that can be converted here, and that it to the logical equivalent sentence, and that is in the normal form and that called clause form. The algorithm for that, we have to eliminate the equal connections and replacing the instance to the form of the expressions here. And for that we have to know some of the scope of negations that each procedure has been applying for. So the first is your, that is negations gives a positive here. The second that is negations of P, negations of Q. The third we have negations of P, Q, that gives negations of P, negations of Q. The fourth we have negations of so that it will give here of X and negations of Px. And then the fifth we have that is negations of X here. So a standardized variable that rename all the variables so that each quantifier its own unique variable name. And for example, to convert this into the Px, and that to find of P of y and then P of x here, if there is another place of the variable of x is already used, then you will be used as y. That eliminate extensional quantifications of introducing this column function, and that to convert with the conversion of this we can use that C brand new constant, that is will take as a constant C. And more generally, it is an essentials quantifier in within the scope of the universal quantifier variable. And then we introduce this column function that depends on the universally quantified variable. And for that, remove the universal quantification symbol by first removing them all in the left end and making the scope of each entire sentences, and then just dropping the prefix part. And for that, to distribute and over or to get the connection of the disjunction called the conjunctive normal form. And we have here that is P then Q, and which is R equals to R, that is Q, we are here. And we'll convert with this, and that what we have here is as follows, like P Q R, that is equals to P Q and R. So with this, that split each functions into the separate classes, and which is just disjunctions or that is negated to the unnegated predicates, that is called literals, and the standardized variable apart again, so that class the contain variable names so that they do not occur in any of the classes as well. So let's go ahead with the another one, and that what we have to discuss about reasoning and the types of reasoning here. Reasoning and the types of reasoning here. In the same case of the reasoning, if I'm talking about the reasoning, is the mental process of looking that the reason for the basis, conclusion, actions, or feeling. And reasoning means infer fact from existing data. And the types of reasoning, there were the three types of reasoning. The first we have is your deductive reasoning. In deductive reasoning, that deductive reasoning are introduced to have a reasoning that is valid, and the reasoning is an argument that is valid if the argument conclusion must be true, and when the premise is that the reason that get to support to the conclusion that are true. And the second we have is your inductive reasoning. In inductive reasoning here, that is inductive reasoning contrasts strongly with the deductions reasoning, and if in the best or the strongest case of the inductive reasoning, the truth of the premises does not guarantee the truth of the conclusion. Instead of the conclusion of the inductive arguments that follows to the some degree of the probabilistic, and relatedly that the conclusion of the inductive argument that contained more information than is already contained in the premises, that thus this method reasoning is applicative. The third we have is your that is abductive. In abductive reasoning here, the abductive reasoning or the argument to the best explanation often involves both inductive and deductive arguments here. Let's go ahead with the probabilistic reasoning, and then we'll discuss the role of HHM in a probabilistic reasoning. In probabilistic here, and then we'll discuss about role of HHM in probabilistic reasoning. So probabilistic reasoning, the aim of the probabilistic logic or a probability logic to combine the capacity of the probability through a handle uncertainty with the capacity deductive logic to exploit its structure and to handle these uncertain to the probability in the oldest technique. The way to express the confidence about an event is through the probability is a mere number, and that expresses the changes and sometimes happening and not happening, and it can also state it as the ratio of the number of occurrence in the favor the total number of the trials as well, and that the product theorem of the probability that holds good for the mutual exclusive events, and most events are dependent upon one another, and for few Bayes theorem is used for the computations of probabilistics as well. There are the three types of situation in which it is tempting to use probabilistic reasoning. There is that the first is that the relevant world here, that the relevant world is rarely random, and for example that the motion of the electron is an atoms or the distribution of the people who will fall during the epidemic, and the relevant world in the random given enough data, and that the motions of the electron in an electron that is a program would always have an access to that much data. For example, that the likelihood of the success of a drug at combating a diseases in a particular patient, the world appears to be random because we have not described it at the right level as well, and where first two cases are appropriate for the probability reasoning, while in the third case we should first see if we cannot discover a better model for the world in which the probabilistic reasoning is no longer necessary. The role of HHM in probabilistic reasoning, there are the two rules, that using HHM to classify the different kinds of observation sequence data that mainly induces the training and recognition training stages to that to solve the estimations of HHM parameters in order to get likely like pi a b in each model, and with the recognition stage in the calculation process of the probability for each test sample sequence q1, and that is of q of I, at the forward and backward algorithm to calculate the output of the posterior probability of each training model as well. In the same case, we can say that we'll go ahead to discuss joint probability distribution and the conditions here. In the joint probability that is distribution and the conditional probability, that it is that given an application that domain in which that determines the sufficient set of just write it down the name of the topic, that is your joint probability distribution and conditional probability. So here with the same case, if I'm talking about that given an application domain in which we have a determined sufficient set of random variables to encode all the relevant information as well, and in the same case that is relevant information about the domain, and we can completely specify all the possible probabilistic information by constructing the full joint probability distribution, which is named as like PV1 equals to small v1, and then v2 equals to small v2, so vn equals to small vn. So this has been represented where the assigned probability to all the possible combination of the values to the random variables as well. One way of looking of the definitions is normalized, like saying p of b and probability of p of a comma b, that explaining that computational condition that forms the joint probability distribution, and say we want to compute that that joint and probability distribution function for the above as well. So we'll go ahead with this only, and that will get the probability. Let's go ahead to discuss the next one, that is your utility theory. In utility theory, that decision making is the process of applying the agent's presence here, and that is the utility theory says that every state that has a degree of usefulness or utility to an agent, and that the agent will prefer the states with a higher utility. So the utility of the state is relatively to our agent whose preferences and the utility function is supposed that to be present, and in other words we can say that an agent preferences which between the world state and that captured by the utility function, in which assigns a single number to express the desirability of the state. Utility are combined with the outcome probability of action to given an expected utility for each action, and we can generalize the notions of the references to the utility functions over the all state, and where we assign a number of each state that is indicating an desirability of the state as well. The expected utility that each actions of A that with some set of possible outcomes, where the agent has some estimate of the probability of each outcome, and the agent that can compute the exported utility and that of action as well, where E is everything that the agent knows and that is evidence and result in the state of the function that is resulting to action, that is D of A as well. And we are talking about the axioms of utility theory, where that we'll discuss here, and that is the given condition like A and B, and that has been given. So will the orderability, the continuity, the substitutability, and then monotonicity, and then decomposability, the utility principle, and maximum expected utility principle, these all comes under the axioms of utility theory here. Now we'll go ahead to describe the process of natural deductions and investigating the validations of the argument, and explain your answer by choosing the suitable example as well that has been asked of 10 marks. So for that, deduction is the derivations process that to investigate the validity of an argument when the conclusion is derived from the set of premises by using the rules and inferences. Then such process of derivation is called deductions or the formal proof as well. We can say that natural deductions method is based on the rules of the inferences and the process of derivation that can be described by the following two steps. The first step is to form the given data of premises. New premises are derived from the rules of inferences, and the step 2, the process of the derivation will continues until the required premises is reached, that is the conclusion is obtained. And one important rule for inferences is resolution, where all employees earning $500 or more than per year taxes, so we just represented by in the form of the inferences here. And where we'll discuss about now we'll discuss about in a detail, that is your hidden Markov model. In hidden Markov model here, that if I'm talking about, so that to illustrate hidden Markov model that I used to speech recognition, where in the hidden Markov model, that is a Markov model is a probabilistic process or over a finite set that is from S1 to Sn, and that is useful call it state, and that is using call it state, and that each state transition that generates a character for that is your alphabet of the process. We are interested in the matter the such probability of a given state that is earning, that is coming up next on, and may depend upon the prior historical, that is j minus 1. In a computing such process, if they are reasonably complex and interesting, that are usually called probabilistic finite set automata, and a probabilistic finite set machine as well, and that because of their close link to determine a non-deterministic finite set state automata as used in the formal language. And then explain that hidden Markov that is a biased coin or a dice, and a format language as well, the weather, etc. The Markov model and the hidden Markov model that are used, that is bioinformatics to the model DNA and protein sequence as well. So with the same case, we have order 0 Markov model, order 1 Markov model, and order M Markov model as well. For the order that is your M Markov model, the order of the Markov model here, that is of a fixed order, and in the length of the history or the content upon which the propagation of the possible values of the next state that depend. And for example, that the next state of the order 2 Markov model depends upon its two previous state. The hidden Markov model, if I'm talking about here, that is hidden Markov model that consists of a set of state with transition probabilities as well as the observation probabilities distribution as well. HHM is an extension of Markov model, and where the state of the HHM that need to be correspond to the observable state, and HHM that model is a process that procedure a sequence of observable system as input as output, and this model that can constructed to produce the symbols from the given sequence of symbols as well, where the state of the sequence that is produced from these symbols is hidden, and there is no relationship between the state and the real world observable values. An objection sequence that can produce by more than one state sequences. Example, if I'm talking about the other two coins are tossed, and it is assumed that that all the experiment in the coins tossing takes place behind us, and only the outcome that result in that's close to us, and that is each time a coin is tossed we cannot know that the specific coin who's tossing, resulting in the current observation. There's a crucial part of the probabilistic process is hidden to us, and that the sequence of observation that is consists of the random succession of heads or tail. Hence the model to these process two states are assumed corresponding to the two coins, and that's what we have here. Coin 1, this is coin 2, and this is comes towards it, and that is f1 by 1. Here it is b2 by 1, that is equals to 1 minus b1 by 1 here. This is b2 by 2, that comes and goes towards 2 and 2, and this is from 1 to 2, and that is equals to b2 to 2 here. For p of h and p of 2 and p of t, that 1 minus p1, we will find it out the probability. HHM for tossing the 2 coins here. The two parts of the parameter that are involved, or one of them that consists of the probabilities, and where the probabilities of that h, coin 1 and coin 2 respectively, and where this is the formation that we will find it out the probabilities here. And in the same case, if I'm talking about a major that is task associated with HHM is to first to adapt a model for the particular process, and then produces the sequence of observation, and that to estimate the known set of the parameter that is based on the set observation as well. And for all coin that is tossing example, these parameters are the transition probabilities, as then as based on the head or the tail probabilities of each of the coin as well. And this model is not built simply to recognize a sequence of event, and they have more application where HHM is also used in the predictions of forecasting, and there are much more general, but some same time they are more complex as well. And the more problem that is existing when determining the what HHM that should be actually lots look like size, transition probabilities, and hidden observation probabilities as well. In the size, that determining the number of the states is not obvious, and that is need not to be associated with a real world observable event. And the transition probability, it is difficult to determine the type of the transition probability that is learning algorithm, and that can use to determine the transition probabilities as well. The hidden observation, that is probability, if I'm talking about, that is as the transition probability, these probabilities that can be learned here. So for describing the Bayesian network, how the Bayesian networks represent the powerful representation of uncertainty knowledge, this has been asked of many times in the examination paper, and that is your Bayesian network. In the Bayesian network, a Bayesian network is a directed acyclic graph, and which each node is annotated with the quantitative probability information, and the full specification is as to be follows, like a set of a random variable that makes up to the nodes of the network variable that are discrete or continuous as well, and a set of directed links or the arrows that connects the pairs of the nodes. And if there is an arrow from x to the node y, and then x is said to be a paired with parent of y, and each of x where the conditional probability is a distribution here. So let's go ahead with a single Bayesian network here. It is a cavity. It will having two, that is your toothache, and that is your catch. So, and the another is here, it is weather. So this is the representation of a simple Bayesian network, where a Bayesian network that produces complete descriptions of the domain and every entry in the full joint probability distribution that can calculate it from the information of the network, and where the Bayesian network provides a concise way to represent the condition independence relationship in its the domain. And Bayesian network that specifies a full joint distribution, each joint entry is defined to be as the product and corresponding entries to the local conditional distributors as well. And a Bayesian network is often exponentially smaller than the full joint distribution, where the hybrid Bayesian network that include the both discrete and the continuous variables as a variety of the canonical distribution. And inferences in the Bayesian network means that computing the probability distribution of a set of query variables given in the n set of evidence variable as well, and in the same case that the exact inferences algorithms such as the variable elimination that evaluate that is sum of the products of the conditional probabilities, and that is efficiently as possible as well. With the same case, now we'll end up with these unit, and that is your unit third, knowledge representation and reasoning, where some of the important question what they had asked you about, like define the knowledge representation and knowledge acquisition, write a short note on the Bayesian network, explain the hidden Markov model, and distinguish between forward chaining and backward chaining, and role of the HHM in a speech recognition process and in a probabilistic reasoning, and how Bayesian network are powerful represented uncertainty knowledge. Define the term resolution, explain knowledge representation method, what is reasoning, explain probabilistic method, state utility theory, define Horn clause and describe the term logic, and prove that that what we have discussed about, if the price falls then sell increases, if sell increases then John makes the whole money, but John does not make the whole money, therefore the price do not fall. And even though one we had done, that is determine whether the following argument is valid. If I worked whole night on this problem, then I can solve it, and if I solve the problem, then I will understand the topic, and therefore I will work whole night on the problem, then I will understand the topic. Now we'll end up with, and we had discussed about in unit 1, that is introduction to artificial intelligence, foundations of an history of artificial intelligence, application of artificial intelligence, intelligent agent, structures of intelligent agent, computer visions, natural language processing. In unit 2, that is introduction to search, searching for the solutions in uninformed data search strategies, informed search strategies, and local search algorithms and optimistic problems, adversarial search for the games alpha, beta, pronoun. Knowledge representation and reasoning, where we had completed, that is knowledge representation and reasoning, propositional logic, theory of the first order logic, inferences is the first order logic, forward and backward chaining, resolution, probabilistic reasoning, utility theory, hidden Markov model, Bayesian network as well. In unit 4, we have to start with machine learning, that is your machine learning, supervised and unsupervised learning, decision tree, statistical learning models, learning with a complete data, naive Bayes model, learning with a hidden data, EM algorithm, reinforcement learning. The pattern recognition, that is introduction, design principles of pattern recognition system, statistical pattern recognition, parameter estimation method, principal component analysis, and linear discriminant analysis, classification technique, nearest neighbors rule, Bayes classifier, support vector machine, k-means clustering as well. So we'll end up with this. First of all, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button, and please like, share, and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. And all those we had done, because this is an artificial intelligence, and then we are doing parallelly to the computer network as well as the reasoning, where we had completed the verbal reasoning and we had started with non-verbal reasoning. You can go through with that through the playlist here. Thank you, hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Thank you.